Facebook will tell me if we're live.
Oh, good. That's nice. Okay, so let's put it on there. I will link you again.
We are live.
Awesome, thank you. So can you post the link for people to join? I put it in the chat here
Yeah,
on
I
Facebook.
usually when I share them into the groups, I drop a comment with the link. Is that what you mean or no?
Absolutely, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Got you, homie.
So much.
What's the topic? Did we have a topic?
Absolutely, we are prepared. The topic today, it's kind of like a long topic. It's fees, right? Do you do them? Why or why not? Right? And then fees
Feet?
for fees, F E
Oh,
E S.
feet. Feet.
Yeah, fees.
I
Yeah.
thought I thought you said feet. I was like, all right. I guess some talk about feet, I guess.
That would have to be on a different page, somewhere not on company
we
time.
could we could probably charge for that. I don't know, you know.
Exactly.
That's
That's a different.
that's the X-rated roundtable.
Yeah, Vet Hawk OnlyFans, right? Anyway.
Live.
So the fees I'm talking about are like delivery fees. Do you do damage waivers, overnight, sandbags, and a few other things? So yeah, welcome in Zoom user. I'm not sure if you're there or not, but hello. Feel free to unmute yourself, Adriano. Feel free to unmute yourself as well. We're just going to be talking. It's just going to be the five of us real quick, and then if people join, if not, cool. All right, so I'm just gonna start it up. Delivery fees. Now I talking to Zoelle earlier today. She did tell me that her and Bounce My House in Chicago, they are an established business. So because they are like in it's the number one rated business in Chicago, right? They can charge these fees, right? And the people are going to pay them because they have the ratings, they're established, they've been there for a long time. And I always want to know from everybody else, like is everybody just as big and established? If not, do you charge fees for delivery?
Yeah, I'll jump right in.
We charge fees.
Well, go ahead. Who was saying?
Adriano, you charge fees?
Yeah, it goes by the mileage, half of the mileage. It goes by the mileage of the delivery.
Okay. Okay. And is like have you looked around in your area? Like are your fees like comparable to like other people's, or like are you the only one charging? Do you know?
No, it's comparable. Mine's actually the first, I think, 20 miles in my area. That's how they have it set up. They set it up for me. It's free. I think after 30 and up, I charge $50.
Just like a flat rate?
Yes.
Okay, very cool. So like anything within 20 miles is free, and then after that it's $50. I like that.
That's how we have it set up for now.
For now. I like that. For now, until you grow, right? That's right.
That's it.
All right. How about you, Adam? What were you gonna say?
Um, I don't know if you know. I probably say I think you picked me for the right topic because I would say our company is like the king of fees. Like we like we have like a Bible of fees that we. I mean, yeah, we have a fee for everything. But I think and we started out with doing fees from the very beginning. When we were looking around to see because we our goal was to grow big,
Uh-huh.
and I feel like if you really want to grow big, you have to, as quickly as possible, look like the rest of the big companies. So whatever they do, you have to mirror whatever it is. So if sometimes when we're smaller, we think, well, we shouldn't charge those fees because we're small. But that's not really true because Tiffany's is smaller than Walmart, but they would still charge up, like crazy for it. So maybe that's not a great example, but
I like
to look bigger, to project yourself will help out because people are looking. It actually brings comfort to them. It brings comfort to them. It's kind of like if you're getting an iPhone and you saw an iPhone on Facebook and the iPhone was brand new and they were selling for $50, everybody would go, well, that's a lie because people are looking for the higher price. They're looking for that. So Having fees is something where it brings comfort to people. It actually does not detract from people, you know.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else have that same philosophy? I know because a lot of people I've heard get undercut on Facebook Marketplace. I heard that's a big thing, like where people have like one or two bounce houses and they rent them out super cheap on Facebook, right? Like what do you guys say to that? Like Adam, Adriana, anybody else? Like what do you say to someone who's like, oh, I saw it cheaper on Facebook?
If someone said it to us, we say, that's awesome. You should go with them.
Yeah, you
Uh,
just let go. No need.
yeah, I mean, because again, like when you're looking at trying to be a larger company, you have to think like a larger company. Walmart doesn't go, oh my gosh, I'm competing with the people on Facebook Marketplace. They're thinking about they're competing with Target and they're thinking competing with those companies. So uh, if you're trying to race, if you're trying to run the race in Facebook, you're going to run with those people. You have to
Mhm.
find a different group to run with. And typically, to run with those people, you just have to look like them. You know, the nice thing about most of our stuff is when I'm saying our stuff, I'm saying bounce house, rental companies, they don't need to come to a physical location. So the only way that they know that you're small is if you tell them you're small.
Mm.
So if you look big, they're going to take you as big. Um, and it's not necessarily a lie. It's just you just say I'm big. I'm just like them. So that
Absolutely.
what so whatever you can do to look um, like the competitors, the big competitors in your area, if you look like them, you will run with them, and
Okay.
people pay those prices.
People pay the prices. I like it. They pay the fees,
They
right?
do. Like if you say you're a bounce house company, and you try to project yourself to be a larger company, you look at the largest company you have and say they have really good graphics on their trucks and they have tons of trailers and they have tons of guys walking around. You can look just like them, just starting out. Rent a rent a Penske truck and drive there. And people go, you say, well, oh, we use this Penske truck today because we have so many orders, so we couldn't use our branded truck. And people go, oh, well, yeah. I mean, they won't even ask because you're driving a 26-foot box truck to their house. They would assume that your truck is full. So they automatically assume that you are a large company, even if you just started. So you just have to think differently of how to look bigger from the very, very beginning. Because what I find is if you look small in the very beginning, the next time people come to you, they're going to automatically think you're small because they don't realize that you've grown. They only remember how the size you were when they purchased from you last time.
Okay.
So always making for sure that they know that you're growing, I think is a huge thing.
I like that. And do you do bounce houses and water slides, tents, tables, chairs, all that?
I actually started doing tents and then I went into bounce houses and I was in bounce house for one season. And I calculate things by how much I can make per hour.
Okay.
And so bounce houses did not fit with that hourly rating, so we just got rid of them. We took a big loss on them, but we
Okay.
said that's okay. So we actually got rid of all of our bounce houses.
Oh wow. So you don't do any bounce houses. So you're just strictly tents and tables and other things.
Yeah, actually, we even got rid of tents this year. So and we've grown tremendously. We've grown pretty big. But tents, again, like as time went by, we wanted to make a certain amount of money per hour, and even tents would not reach that per hour rate. So we just got rid of them. So we sold them all.
Wow. Even the big tents, or it
Yeah.
wasn't worth it because people always ask for a smaller one.
I think like everything is if you really think about how can you make the most amount of money with what you're doing. If I was going to say start a company that was based on tents, I would just do tents. I wouldn't do any tables, wouldn't do any chairs. I would literally just do tents for the reason of when you are loading up your truck, if your truck is only filled with tents and that's all your guys know is tents, your efficiency level is extremely high. It's very fast. You're typically getting better clients because the clients that are just wanting tents from you are getting the best. So you can be really, really good at something and be very quick and very fast and be very efficient. But if you have, say, tents mixed in with chairs, you're moving around tent bags, you're moving around tent poles, trying to get to that stack of chairs in the back of your tent. So you're losing a lot of man hours. You're losing a lot of every time you stop and start a new process, you're losing time. So if you're able to, kind of like Henry Ford, Henry Ford, if you wanted to get a car, the only car color they had was black because black dried 4 hours faster than any other color. So their goal was production and speed. So if they could produce a lot more cars, they were able to make more money. So it all depends on what your vehicle is. Every vehicle has its purpose. So if you have a Porsche and that's your car for delivery, well, you can't fit a tent in it. So maybe you can only do dishes, but you can get your dishes there really fast. So you can do things better than someone's moving a 26-foot box truck. If you have a 26-foot box truck, you have to do something that fits best for that. If you have a truck, whatever vehicle you're designing your business to do is what it can do. You can't take your Porsche off-roading, but you can take your truck off-roading. So sometimes on these groups, you'll have, say, a person that owns the Porsche, and they're saying, oh, well, you can't do that to a guy who owns a truck. But the truck guy's like, I can do this all day long. What are you talking about? Or the Porsche guy will say, well, I can do this, and I can get there so fast, but the guy who owns the truck goes, I can't get there that fast. So sometimes when we're getting advice, we have to really realize what vehicle our business is, what vehicle we created, so that we can accept the advice that we need to accept that fits best for our business.
I like that. I like that. What vehicle are we in, right? So wow.
Yeah.
So you have no bounce houses at all, no tents. So what do you rent out?
I'll say that what we rent out works well for the vehicle that we have.
Okay.
It's taken us a while to figure out what we like to do. So I really feel like if you don't like what you're doing, it doesn't work. I tried a long time ago. I was in sales, and I always thought that Toyotas were a great car. But my dad told me since I was a young kid that Toyotas are crap. And so in my head, even though I knew that Toyotas were a better car, I couldn't sell them because in the inside of me, I just thought they were crap because my dad told me that 1,000 times. So whatever you believe in is what you're built to sell the best. So we sell high-end luxury dishes, flatware, tables, chairs, chandeliers, anything that is very expensive that no one else has. That's what we really specialize in.
And you rent it out or you sell it?
We rent it.
Okay. Okay. So high end, really high end stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Big ticket items.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So like you were talking about the work per hour, right?
Yes. Right.
Okay. So it's got to be really high on those items for sure.
Yeah. I mean, again, there's plus and minuses to it. Our inventory is very expensive, and our inventory changes very quickly. Let's say, for instance, your rental company rents white plates. You rent a white plate, you could rent that for the next 30 years. A white plate's not going out of style. Our plates could go out of style in 1 year. We try to find things that will last maybe 5 years. Sometimes we'll get 5 years, and sometimes we don't. So we're very high market, high speed, quick changeover, always looking for people to buy our 1-year-old inventory, just because things change so fast. We may rent out an item 5 times and then it's gone. We got to sell it. We got to get rid of it. So it's a very high. My wife's like, you just love crazy stuff, and that's what I do. I love crazy. I love the excitement of it. I love like the risk of it. High stress. I like it. That's what I like. I don't like the easy. So
Very cool. I have to
yeah,
say, like you said, it's taking you a while, right? I'm sure all the other bounce house business owners can relate to the always taking the L or having to cut your losses with that one bounce house you thought was going to make a lot of money, but
yeah,
just didn't rent or whatever it may be, right? In your situation, you were like, nope, it's not making me enough. So I feel it.
yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So we got delivery fees. So do you charge delivery fees then for all your stuff?
Yeah, our delivery fees are very different. I mean, we start off. Well, let's say from the beginning when I did bounce houses and stuff, I didn't charge delivery fees, and that was for about a month. I didn't charge any delivery fees, and then it just kind of dawned on me. I'm like, well, Home Depot charges a minimum fee to deliver a washer and dryer across the street. So again, if you're wanting customers to respect you, you got to charge what the other ones charge. And I would say I know there's people out there and they think, well, I'm small, so I don't need to charge that. But you are, if you're a one-man band, you're doing everything that you would hire people to do. And you also need a lot more money to get to the point of paying employees and getting bigger trucks and buying the bigger dollies. So when you're starting out, you don't have any of that stuff. It's like if you ever moved into a new apartment and you have a refrigerator, it takes a long time to get the condiments, to get the ketchup, get the mustard, get the relish or the different things. It takes a long time to get that stuff. So you have to charge enough to have enough white space or margin to be able to purchase all the things you need to, and then eventually get the employees to be able to do that. If I have an employee and it's going across the street, it's probably take him 30 minutes to walk it across the street. So you have to charge for that. Everything you got to do, you got to charge. So we're always charging for stuff. So mileage wise, we charge $4 a mile.
Okay.
So we do that. If there's stairs, we charge for stairs. We charge for if
Oh
it's
wow.
yeah, if it's after hours. If it's past 4 o'clock.
Yeah, you gotta charge for stairs.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, who just said that? Amen.
Stacy. What, you charge for stairs?
Me? You know I charge for stairs and sandbags and delivery and pain in the
Yes.
ass fees.
Yes. Amen. Woo. Yes. Gotta you have to, right? I mean, you have to. It's your time. Your time's not free. I mean, you could be sitting on the couch with your family. You know, why
Well, and when you show up to Chicago and they say, we don't have an elevator and you have to go up 30 flights of stairs with white garden chairs, and you're like, hell no, here it is at the bottom of the stairs for you.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You know what?
No.
Never mind. I take that. I take everything I said back about stairs. I forget. I don't. I live in like Tucson. There's not that many high rises, right? So I forget that like 3 floors isn't the max,
Yeah.
right? Places there's 17 plus floors. Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you
I mean,
do you
I don't charge them for 2 porch stairs, but if we're going, like, literally, if we're going to somebody's basement, first off, they have to order the right stuff that'll fit in their basement. Like, if they got a turnaround stairwell, like, you can't do an 8-foot table with that. Forget it.
I love you, Stacy.
But I mean, $5 a stair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Level?
We actually do 5% a stair. Because you could be, if you have a $10,000 order, $5 a stair is different than if it's a $20,000 order. So we do it 5% a chair. So if there's 10 chairs, it's 5, 5, 5. So it can go up pretty high. Do you charge?
Absolutely makes sense. We calculate it based on how many trips we got to go up and down the stairs, but yeah.
Do you charge for elevators? We do.
We only charge for elevators if it's multiple trips, but we do balloon decor, so sometimes that can get pricey. But if it's just one up, we don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, elevators, something you got to watch out for people who are listening. If ever there's an elevator, you're really moving a lot of things. We had a job in Cincinnati, and they had a big elevator, and it broke. And it went from a 4-hour job to a 2-day job install. So we had to actually back charge the client, and the client didn't want to pay. They said okay there, and then we actually had to end up suing them because they said they would pay, and they wouldn't. Because we had 4 guys there. I'm paying them $75 an hour. It was pretty expensive. So
How do you guys charge for stair, by the way? Like, do you ask the customer beforehand or do you charge them after the fact? For both
No,
Adam and Stacy.
when we ask them where their delivery location is it your front yard, your driveway, inside, outside, upstairs, downstairs? There's a litany of questions that they have to go through.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. What about you, Adam?
same thing. We especially if we I tell the people, which is typically my wife, who does a lot of the order taking. I said, you always act dumb. And the reason why is because sometimes venues change. We do a lot of things out of state everywhere, and venues change stuff. So maybe they had stairs this time, maybe they didn't have stairs before. So we always ask every single time, is there anything that hinders our delivery in an easy way? And we go through a list. Are there stairs? Are there curbs? Are there elevators? How big's the elevator? Some people say it's a freight elevator, but it's not a freight elevator. How big, that happens a lot. People, oh yeah, it's a freight elevator, and then you get there and it's you can't fit anything up there. So
Interesting.
yeah,
Maybe we're gonna have to start charging that because I don't think we don't charge for stairs at all actually, but that we already have the manager survey where we already ask a bunch of like confirmation questions and things like that. And just like you guys are saying, like it's a hassle to do multiple trips up and down the stairs and taking elevators and things like that. So that's
Well, and
definitely something that would be easy to
you have
incorporate.
fold in half tables, so also you're okay because you've got a fold in half 6 foot that you pretty much is your primary product. But try putting a 60-inch round down a curved stairwell. It's never going to happen.
I
yeah,
bet. I can only
yeah.
imagine.
But everybody thinks it will. I'm like,
Oh
do you
gosh,
have
yeah.
a straight shot stairwell? You know, oh, and the one person who had a spiral staircase, literally a spiral staircase, and wanted chivalry chairs in their basement. Oh my
Oh,
God.
never had that. That sounds terrible.
We
Wow.
left them in her garage. It's like,
Hey,
sorry, dude, it'll cost you like $900 for us to take these to your basement.
Yep, you're right.
one time, one time I was putting TVs in. We were installing TVs, and we went to a bank, and we had a 90-inch TV that was in a curved stairwell, and there was no way to get that thing in. So they came in with a crane and took the window out and put the thing in through the window.
Cool.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. Oh my gosh.
For a TV.
for a TV. Yeah. Oh, and it was a huge smart TV. I mean, that thing was expensive. It was ridiculous. It was for their main boardroom. But yeah,
Wow.
I've been there. Like we did chalkboards and dry erase boards in a science lab one time, and these things were 30-foot boards, and we couldn't get them up the stairs, so we had to literally hand them to the next guy on the next level as we were going up the
Like,
ledges till we got them in. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
just stand them up, pass it. I mean, they were 30 foot long, so they almost got to the third floor on their own.
Wow.
That's
Um,
amazing.
how do you guys line item your fees?
So for me, an inflatable office, anything that's like, so like I have for fees that are a percentage fee, like you talked about, I have done a line item like for table chair setup. When I plop it on the main invoice, it goes up at the top, but then the calculation comes in at the bottom after the item totals because it's a labor fee. I don't want them to be charged a damage waiver and stuff on it. So I've created filters for that.
Yeah, it's
For
good.
percentage ones, the things that you can't do by percentage though, what I've been doing, just so my staff sees it and the client sees it the right way, is I will write it in at the top like as a line item that's a $0, but then at the bottom it'll have the actual amount at the bottom, again, to not have the damage waiver charged on everything.
Yeah.
And also because the guys go, well, we didn't see it on the invoice. Well, because it's down here where the labor shows up, but you don't ever read past, the end of the page. So let's put it in both spots so that you can't be stupid.
Yeah.
Does
But they
anybody
still
just charge by the hour?
Hmm?
I said, has anybody ever just charged by the hour? I was just curious how that would work.
I've thought about that, but the reason why we
I
don't
do it
do
all the time.
that, in general, why we don't do that is because we look at it as every job is different, has a different skill. So it'd be kind of like if you have a electrician and you have a plumber and you have a framer and they're all doing stuff, all of our guys would do everything, but each job you actually get paid more or less for. So we find that if we do it percentage wise, if we have a very expensive table or we have some cheaper stuff, everything kind of goes based upon the value of the item, which we found it just makes sense to us. It may not make sense to other people, but for our vehicle, for what we do, it just makes sense for us.
So, Adam, what do you do? Like, you set up everything. You never allow client setup, right?
Us personally, no. Well, I take that back. In general, yes, we do have an option for, because we work with a lot of wedding planners or event planners. We do
Mm-hmm.
allow them to do it, but where we're at, none of them want to, so they just pay it. But back in the day when we didn't have that option, we would allow them to set them up. But uh, I feel like just depending on who you work with, like say we'll have some, who actually does or like we'll have some, like, some newer planners who work with us, and they haven't figured out that it actually costs them more money for them to do stuff. So they'll come on and they'll pick stuff up from our warehouse and they'll take care of stuff, and they'll be like, "This is a lot of work." I'm like, "Yeah, that's why we charge for it." But and same thing. I think it's the same thing with all of us. We eventually we work really hard, and then we grow by as we get sick of doing things. We go, "I don't want to do this anymore," but the clients want it, so you have to raise the price. And I think, at least I would say, that's how our whole business has grown, is just getting sick of things and getting angry and say, "I don't want to do this anymore." So I just raise the price and stuff on it. Yeah.
Okay,
Where's
cool.
best, Stacey? Where in the country?
What was that?
I don't know who asked
Oh,
the question, who it was directed at.
oh, Stacey, where are you at in the country?
I'm near Chicago.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's right, because you said Chicago. Yeah, yeah. Chicago's tough. There's a lot
Well,
of
we avoid downtown like the plague. It's got a $3,500 minimum order.
yeah,
Oh,
Chicago's tough. It's kind of like the mafia.
We're kind of more in the suburbs. We're Naperville, Aurora. Like we more cater to the suburban housewife.
Nice. It's good.
But as I sit here doing a quote for a downtown event with a sleigh, because who else has a sleigh but me?
ah,
Awesome.
a sleigh?
Yeah. What else is Santa gonna sit in? Well,
That's
throwing
awesome.
chairs, which I have too many of.
Nice.
How
Mm.
cool.
I love throwing chairs.
Oh, I do too. I mean, I hate them for maintenance, but I love them for the fact that it's like some of the easiest money there is.
Yes.
It's like, and it's always got a backdrop and it's always got, other zhuzhy stuff to go with it. So,
Does anybody here charge an overnight fee?
Yes.
damn straight.
Damn straight. And how
Yeah.
much? And why?
Because they're getting it overnight.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I mean,
I
it
bet.
depends on the item. I mean, if it's a 24-hour rental item, no. But if it's an hourly rental item, yes.
Okay,
So
makes sense.
it gives you room to take money off if you need to. Yeah, I'll give you that for $50 less. Somebody thanked me the other day. Thank you for the discount. You're welcome, because I just bumped up your overnight fee to give you that discount.
I like you, Stacey. You're great.
I've followed you it's followed your stuff through the years.
Thank you.
Mhm. I always
But
sit there and go, I wonder what really expensive thing he's selling now.
but I think, like, depending on how the conversation is or how things are talked about, newer people who are in the business can look at, say, this conversation or this part of talking and going, "You're nickel and diming people," and but honestly, what I have found is this, when we are receiving more money, we're giving better everything.
Service.
Um, it just depends. Like, if you're a client, that and there's a client for everyone. I'm cheap. I mean, I'm cheap. So when my business, I would not be its client. I would not. If I was the client renting from us, I would be like, "You guys are nuts. Screw you. No, thank you." I'm going to Walmart. That's where I'm going. Because that's who I am. But my clients' personalities aren't like that. Their time is worth a lot more money. They don't want to deal with things. They don't want to. Um, they just want it the way they want it. They want it to be good. They want it to be, whatever. And we give good service. I think that if you charge the fees, you're going to get better service. if you're angry about going up steps and you did it for free, you're not giving the client a good experience because they feel it. Even if you don't say anything or your employees feel it, they're not getting paid extra money for climbing up the steps. They feel it. They're angry. They're frustrated. You know, the bride or the person or the birthday boy asks you to do something, you're like, what? You know, but if you're happy about it, you know, if someone's giving you a good amount of money to take the stuff up the stairs, you may be like, oh, I don't want to take these things up the stairs, but you're like, sure, okay, yeah, hey, I just made $5,000 going up these, whatever it is. I would never make $5,000 going upstairs, but you know, whatever it
30,
is, you just
30 stairs with 30 flights of stairs with white resin garden chairs, you would.
yeah, you're right, yeah. But you know, you got to charge enough to be happy, happy with what you're doing and not hate your life. You know,
Yeah,
so
and feel happy about like, like, yeah, it might have been a lot of work, but like, that staring at that money makes it, a little bit better.
it's the better.
It's literally a convenience fee for them. Everything that we do for clients. Now, see, and Michael Adam's like the perfect guy to have on the phone for me. Because it's different what he does, and I'm more like him than some of the other times, because I go into so many forays. But for what he's talking about, it's the difference between a backyard client and a corporate client,
Mhm.
corporate picnic. Everybody wants to do company picnics every weekend long because they're 3-4 grand, one drop, one stop. But you're also going to take all your time and focus and energy and make that great because you want that corporate client back every single year. It's
Yes,
not that you don't love your backyard client. Your backyard client's your bread and butter. It's like your tables and chairs. They're going to rent no matter what because people always need tables and chairs. But there comes a point where you have to decide, do I want to schlock $1.75 chairs all day long, or do I want to schlock $175 chairs all day long? And that's why we love our throne chairs.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
you
Yeah, and
know but you got to go from the school of, do you never say no, or do you begin to say no? And they're just his clientele is great because they pay for his convenience fee, which is his time, his attention, and his selective amount of inventory. And then you get me, who's got a corner shop that everybody walks in going, my Amazon order didn't show up, do you got stretchy chair covers today?
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, I
uh,
do.
you know, I would
Yeah.
say like people who are say, listening, you know, and I get a lot of messages. Well, I get lots and lots of messages asking questions and stuff. And I would say that money wise, I would not think that what we do makes more money than say somebody that does general rental. Reason being is that people aren't wanting to purchase or rent, you know, expensive stuff all the time. So it sits in warehouse space and it takes up a lot of warehouse space to sits there. You're switching out products a lot more often. So that costs, you know, purchasing something, if you purchase a car, a brand new car, and you get rid of it, well, you just lost half its value or 25% of its value. So we probably make just as much money as probably general rentals. It's just done differently. The format is different. The money is the
Right.
same, format's different. And there's different headaches. You know, if say you worked with a middle class person, like say me, say you delivered something to my house, I didn't like it, I probably would say something about it right away. I'd be like, "Rah, rich people, they just sue you, like, like they'll, and, and you won't even know that day. Like they'll sue you the next day because on their wedding they're not going to talk to you about it because it's their wedding and they don't want to bother you. But the very next day or a couple days on their honeymoon, they'll call you with their lawyer and they will sue you. So just different headaches, just different, you know.
So like you would have to have
All right.
her on retainer.
Yeah, we do. We do have a lawyer who works with us, and we use him. Like he's, you know, the with our clients is if they don't know if most times they assume that you don't have an attorney, so they'll send you a letter and they're expecting, you know, you to reply a couple days after you peed your pants. Um, but our lawyer automatically, like the moment we get it, like there's a response back within moments saying, okay, great, you want to sue us? Fine, ready to go. You know, So it doesn't happen very often. I say probably once or twice a year, like we get something, but we work really hard at everything being perfect. We're not fast. Everything we do is slow. I tell our guys that work with us, I'm like, we're not fast. We're slow. Everything we do is slow. You don't move those chairs that fast. Go slower. So yeah, we're different. We're just different. Different vehicle. Different vehicle. Ray,
I
you look
love,
so comfortable.
I love the guys that are like, the bounce house people. I'm, half whatever, and they're gonna sue you, right? For over a bounce house. You destroyed their world, whatever. And I learned from a friend forever ago, take this away. Take this as a note if you're an operator. This is the best response that I ever was given by a colleague, and it is just like it's just shuts it down. Well, blah blah blah, I'm going to get my lawyer and I'm going to sue you. Well, because you've mentioned that you're going to become litigious, at this point I can no longer have any continued conversation from you. Here's my lawyer's phone number. That's
I
it. That's the end. That is the end of the conversation, and you are likely to never hear from their lawyer.
Oh,
And
that is good.
you can even slip in there. You can even slip in there. And if you can, and blah, 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 we'll consider it slander if you don't first, call our lawyers or whatever.
I love
But
that. I'm going to use
it's
that.
it's 100%. It's a shut down sentence. But all these people that think they're going to puff their chest out at you and threaten legalities, it's a $250 bounce house rental.
So
It's going to cost you more to dial your lawyer's phone number than to just like be a decent human being and say, hey, you guys were 45 minutes late. Is there anything you can slip me? Coupon, credit for next time, whatever. If you came to me and had a conversation with me, I would bend over backwards to make your life better.
100%. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because you think you're going to trot out your, legal Rolodex for those people that are under the age of 30 is this thing that used to have cards and you'd spin it and you could find a card, a business card, a paper
I
thing
was
for people.
confused. I was confused. Thank you. Thank you.
Google Rolodex. Anyway, so that was the best line that a colleague shared with me, and I have used it over the years, and it's instant shutdown. You never hear from him again.
I think he has one.
Right. Yeah.
Look at that. It's vintage.
Vintage, yeah.
I use it all the time,
I still
man.
got
This
one.
is a lifesaver. I'm
I
old.
don't use it. I don't use it, but I do still actually have a Rolodex.
I love your background, by the way. SpongeBob is awesome. It's the best. I love it. And Ray,
So
looks like the most comfortable dude ever.
I grew up. My mom worked for the courts, and I grew up talking to attorneys all the time. And basically, the feel that I got talking to them was if somebody ever tells you they're going to call their attorney, they're full of it. Because the reality is, the guys that call them, they don't
I've
threaten.
already
They
done
just
it.
call them. Yeah, they just say, "Hey, I need you to take care of this," and that's that. So unless they're saying, "Hey, I need some information from my attorney," that's a little bit different. I've had that happen before, but most of the time, if they're threatening you, they're not calling anybody. They're doing that because they don't have an attorney and they don't want to pay for it, but they want to look like it.
So my sister was an attorney. Now she's actually in advertising, but she was a good attorney. She just hated it, so went into advertising. But yeah,
It's a better job.
yeah, she told me, she said anytime a lawyer like uses their like if they're like, well, I'm a lawyer. If they say something like that to you, all you have to do is say, "Oh, really? Oh, I'm gonna call," what she said. She said, "Call the whatever state is their board. What's it called?
The
The
bar.
bar?
Their bar. I'm gonna call your bar association because that's actually you're bullying me, and you can lose your license for that." And they will shut down in a heartbeat because that's true. They can get in a lot of trouble if they're using their authority to try to like get you.
I'm gonna
So
keep that in the back of my mind when anyone says that. It's like, yeah, okay, what state? I'm gonna call the bar.
yeah, yeah, you go, oh, are you threatening me? Because I'll call the bar association right now. And they'll be like, oh, you know something. Yeah, I do. So they will calm down. But most of the time, I think if you're just nice with people, they do back down. You just,
Also,
Well,
Most
that's
people
the thing.
are.
Why can't people start nice? I mean, they can be angry and still be nice. I mean, like, when did polite become a word that people don't understand?
Yeah. My
That's a whole nother conversation.
That's true.
Cue that up for tomorrow at 8 p.m. Bring a glass of wine.
My uncle
Um,
in the 50s, he was a police officer, and he's like, I didn't carry a gun. I didn't carry anything. I did my job, and I talked to people and I worked it out with people. He's like, now everybody has to have like guns and tasers and everything on their belt. But back in the day, they talked to people. So
well, I remember when you did have and you had to escalate it, you didn't use guns and tasers anyways. You just popped each other in the mouth a few times and moved on, you know?
I'm all for that. I think that, yeah.
I got a
okay.
few black eyes, you know, busted lip here or there.
Hey, they used to do that in junior high. Somebody would say something, eventually someone would get their mouth, they get punched, and you learned at an early age, you don't, you're nice to people. Now
Yeah.
it's not like that anymore. And people have all this
Now you
pent
punch
anger.
somebody and they have to lock the school down. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh no, somebody sneezes across the street in the wrong direction and they lock the school down.
That's true. It's nuts. That's terrible. Terrible.
Well, they do it because people don't retaliate the same way. They come back mad and overreact, and they can't just say, "Hey, I was wrong. I got the stuffings beat out of me. I need to shut up." It's like, "Oh, I'm going to make them pay because they made me pay."
You're not allowed to beat the stuffings out of people anymore because they're going to call their lawyer.
I'm thinking about some fees, some crazy fees that maybe people don't do. If you are a retail client with us, we actually charge you more. So
Whoa.
our base pricing is for um, wholesale, is for working with planners. If you're not a planner, we actually charge you more. So instead of them coming getting a discount, we just charge people more.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
And we'll get questions about that, like, well, why are you charging us more? It just takes a lot more work because you've chosen not to use a professional planner. Um,
Hmm.
so we have to educate you as we're doing stuff with you, which we don't mind doing, but it just takes more time. A
Okay.
professional calls us, they say what we want. We have 2 phone call conversations with them for 2 moments, and we're done for the whole wedding. If you're calling, you're gonna call 5 times a week. You're gonna change your mind 50 times. Which is fine. I get it. I mean, I would do the same thing. If I was a bride or doing a big event. So I totally understand, but it just costs us more money. So we have
So,
to make that up.
so
Okay.
Adam, when I listen to you, like you seem to be a lot like me as far as like the way you look at things, but also the way that you deal with people. So that kind of, I got a couple of questions because of that. One, um, like how do you find those types of clients? But two, when you're talking about the thing you were just talking about, when you have clients who don't have a planner, you're basically being that planner for them, correct? I mean, that's what
Not
you're
me,
charging them for.
not me personally, but somebody from our team or group will end up,
Right.
in a sense, being a part of their planning. Yeah, or
So I mean,
design.
you're charging them to be a planner to take care of it. So I mean, that's
Yeah,
kind of what that fee is, right?
yeah, I would say so, and that's kind of how we explain it to people, and people totally get it. They understand. They said, we're a professional company. We work with some of the best planners around the country, and they call us twice and they're done. And we expect you to call us multiple times, and we want to talk with you. We want to work with you. If that's what you need, we're here for you. But we also have to recoup that cost, and they totally understand.
I like that because that's kind of where I'm picturing us going is kind of like a premier all-in-one kind of thing where we provide the equipment, the planning, everything, but I'm just getting off the ground. So it's a matter of trying to figure out how to get there, and it's
You
nice
know,
to see somebody else is already doing that.
I would say, because you're asking like, what do we do? How do we get there? Specializing in something. People who people who don't specialize in something aren't going to get those clients. Let's say, for instance, you like to eat fish, right? And you go to a restaurant, and it's a family restaurant, and they have fish on there. You don't you think you may and it's not even by a river, it's not by a lake, it's not known for fish. You go, well, how long has the fish been in the refrigerator? How often do they sell? Do they know how to cook the fish right? But you never ask that question if you're like on a lake and they're serving fish, because that's what they specialize in. So you would never even think about that. But if you're not going to, so you can charge more for it because you're special. You're in a specialist you specialize in something. So some people want to be like the all-in-one place, and I think that's really good. I do see that, but I think if you really want to make really good money, specialize something and be like the very best at it. Because like our clients that we work with, like literally people will I can't even tell you the crazy things people paid us to do just for like one thing. I think one was we just had like 150 plates and it was shipped to Boston and they paid us an obscene amount of money because they just wanted that one thing because we specialized in it. They could have found something right down the street from them, but they didn't want to. They like I guess here's another thought too. Like so I'm a regular middle class dude, and before I was in business, I worked for somebody, and I never liked working for people. And so when I get in my car, my middle class car has a lot of buttons. Like if you get into a Ford, there's buttons everywhere. Your radio has a lot of buttons. There's buttons on the steering wheel. There's buttons on everything. If you get into a Mercedes, there's like no buttons. There's less buttons because I took a psychology class on how people react to things, and they say that like a middle class person like me, before I started a business, I wanted I wanted to be in control of something. So I can control this button. I can turn this heat the way that I want to heat it, and it just made you feel like you had control of something. When people get into their Mercedes, they don't have buttons because they're like, I don't want to make another decision ever. Like I just want the car to just do what it's supposed to do and not have anything. So in the luxury business or working with higher end clients, they just want a smooth transaction. They want it very easy. They want it very smooth. They don't want to have to even think about anything. They just want it done for them. So, yeah, it's just different ways of thinking. So they'll pick up on cues. How your website is, how you do things. They just pick up on those cues without you even having to say things. They just realize that like you just understand them. And I think I don't think I'm saying it right, but they're looking for these little cues that you give them, and they automatically pick those up. I guess here's one thing. Here's people that work with high-end people only work with planners 99.9% of the time. So we tell people we only work with planners. So if you have a bunch of money, you're not going to do your wedding yourself. So on your website or whatever you're saying, if you're always thinking I only work with planners, that's already a cue to them to say, oh, well, yeah, of course, because you work with my people, and I would never do the wedding myself. I would because my time's too valuable. Elon Musk would never plan his own wedding because every minute of his day is worth like $1 billion. So he just wouldn't waste his time. So I think that's kind of thing is like those just trying to understand like who they are. I don't know. So hopefully that helped. So
yeah,
absolutely. And then, well, I got a question to kind of end it all, right? What about like the complete opposite? Does anybody here not charge fees and can explain why? Right? I kind of want to hear the opposite side of the coin. We talk about fees all night. I love it. Does anybody not charge? And can you give me your philosophy on why?
well, in my printing business, I don't, and that's kind of why I've been asking, because what we do is kind of the same thing that I was looking at doing here, which is an all-in-one kind of deal. You call us, we take care of it from concept of design all the way through the application. Not only do we do the design, we take care of your logo, we print it, we apply it, we do all of that. We also think if there's no fees, it's an all-inclusive thing, that it's kind of like what he was saying. It's very elite. It's very simple. You don't have to sit there and say, oh, well, yeah, we're going to nickel you for this and dime you for that. It's just, this is the front price. This is what you pay. This is what you get. You're done. Sign the paperwork. See you later. when you come back, it'll be finished. So I kind of like that idea, you know, and then you've got the whole shipping thing, you know, when we do things that we send out, people will pay more when they get free shipping than they will if they pay for that plus shipping. So, you know, that's another reason that we kind of do that, but I don't know how that really translates to this. So I'm interested to find out if anybody else does that here too.
So I'm going to give you an example of how that translates. If I if they want it to be all inclusive, they are going to pay me a lot more money, and I'm going to plan for every single contingency, and they'll never see a line by line item on that bill. But if somebody understands your value, they will respect it. So a long time ago, land far, far away, I didn't charge we do balloons. When I would take my balloons, here's your all-in-one price. It's $825. I have set this down. It looks gorgeous. It's all yours. Done. But I get here, takes me 3 hours to deal with the venue. You've changed your mind 17 times. You've changed your color in the middle of this event. My install fee that was included in that arch is now no longer included in that arch because service level is dictated by the client. So if they think that everything is all included in that $825, they don't care how ragged they run you or how many times they change the color. They don't care if you said driveway delivery and they tell you to go to the backyard. Every time you take 50 extra feet from your truck to a backyard multiple times, it costs you, I don't know, just call it an hour of wages for your guys. Every bit of that service level has a related dollar value. So when my clients see a line on there that says installation fee, they can ask me questions about it. What's the installation fee? Why is it on here? Why do I have it? Because if I get there and it's smooth sailing, that's great. But if I get there and the union tells me suddenly that they have to install it and it's going to take me 3 hours to sit around and wait for the union to carry that balloon pole from door A to door C, you're going to pay me for those 3 hours of my time.
Yes. I like you, Stacy.
And if it's not broken out, you have no way to justify why it's no longer $825. You can't come back to them and say, well, it was $825 until this, and this. But if it's very line item detailed, 1 hour of installation, it's 1 hour of installation. Boom, it's up at an hour.
I guess that's the difference between a product and a service, because with a product, you can kind of be like, this is all inclusive, but with a service, you're going to have those issues. And two, like I said, I used to do installs. I was a tech for years, and my mindset is set up with a scope of work, because everything we did had a scope of work. Your salesman would go out there, they'd look at it, it would be written down, everything would be charged based on that. And then if there was any change, but right there, you signed a piece of paper that said, hey, I authorize, you know, this change in the scope of work, and then they would charge you out the nose for that. And I don't know,
building a house.
Do what?
Like when you're building a house. Oh, I changed the cabinet covers. That's $250.
Yeah. And so every change you make, we'll make it, but you're going to sign here. That's going to be another $300.
It's just like fees for us. We will put down in front of every fee, we line item everything, and it will say like special service, because we have our baseline delivery. And if your order fit within that baseline delivery, yes, your price would be much cheaper, but you have stairs, you have this, and it says special service.
Hi, I was just going to lock my door.
Oh, definitely lock it.
Yeah, well, I'm on a webinar. Don't pay attention to these hooligans.
But not paying fees, there are actually a lot of things that we don't charge at all for.
Okay.
We everything before the sale, we try to do it free. We include it, because I feel like when you want to give people things. People like to be given stuff or be able to take care of. We want people to know that we're going to take care of you. So things like we'll get requests for samples of stuff. Like, we want to see this, we want to see that. Now, obviously, this doesn't work for bounce houses because you're not going to send them a sample of a bounce house. But like, we don't charge for that. for that. We don't charge for shipping things before the order is like if somebody, because we do stuff around the country, so we'll ship stuff. So we'll ship stuff all over, and we don't charge for that, and that's expensive, but we don't charge for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so a lot of things like that we don't charge for.
Oh.
So, but everything after the sale, well, they know what they're getting paid. They know what they are getting charged for. One of the reasons why we don't charge things for the beginning is we don't want people we don't really want to nickel and dime people. We have to charge people what we need to charge because I think that's fair. But we also want them to know, and it's true that we are going to take care of you. Like you are, we're just, yeah, like what you are wanting to do is more important than that $300 shipment of glasses for you to see them. So yeah.
Makes
Very-
sense.
Absolutely. Well, y'all, this was fun. This was honestly now okay. Robin's not here, so I can officially say it. This was one of my favorite roundtables I've been a part of, and I mean it this time though, honestly, because Adam, I don't know where you came from, right? But like, thank you for showing up and for talking and just giving us so much useful knowledge and insights on everything. Because you're a little different, right? You're not the typical bounce house business owner, right? Like you said, you kind of strayed away from that to do what you're doing now, and it sounds like a lot of people are looking to do the same thing.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, thanks for having me come on. I love it. I think it's fun. And I'm always learning stuff. I learned a lot from Stacy tonight. So thanks, Stacy, for being on here because I definitely have learned some things. So thank you.
Nonsense. You can't learn anything from me. I
Oh,
just come
yeah.
on here. I just come on here for the eye candy for Michael. Like, and occasionally Mr. Blue Eyes makes an appearance for me.
Oh, where is he? Hold on, I got you. Blue Eyes.
I haven't seen Mr. Booker in a minute. I'm glad you brought him up, Stacy.
And I have to say I'm on here for the walls, for the wallpaper screens. I love them. They're great. Especially SpongeBob. That's awesome.
Hey, Booker.
Yeah, I think next time it's going to be like maybe the Star Trek bridge or something. We'll see.
Love it.
Just for Stacy. Say hi, Stacy. Say hi.
Aw. He's so cute.
Mr. Blue Eyes there. Yep.
He's even cuter in person.
Can't wait. If y'all are coming to IAPA, I'm not sure if anybody's going to IAPA or not. But I'm bringing. He's coming as well, so it's gonna be a party.
Oh man, it's like a
Yeah.
yeah. Do it up.
Heck yeah! It's so exciting. If y'all are coming, if you haven't reached out to us yet, I know I got Adriano, Ray, invite to the party. But yeah, let us know. We're throwing an appreciation party for all of our clients and everybody who's associated with Event Hawk. And yeah, so come on out.
Nice. Adriano, you look like a cool dude. I like your
Yeah.
background.
Thank you.
Yeah, what do you like bounce houses and like you're like the party guy, right?
Yeah, I do bounce house, tents, tables, Giovanni chairs, throne chairs, photo booths, 360s.
I love it. You have the good voice for it. You have the it just sounds good. You have a good voice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, Adam, you got to come back next Tuesday. We do these every Tuesday at 7 Central. I'm not sure what time zone you're.
I love it. I do. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you should come back.
Heck yeah. Well, I'm not sure what next week's topic is, but we'll have it. Tariq always comes up with something great. Today it was fees. I was gonna talk about like feature, and he's like, no, we're gonna talk about fees and sandbags. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it. And so I appreciate everybody who joined in. Hi, Book. Say hello.
Hello.
Who won the most expensive sandbag contest?
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
before we end, who charges the most?
I charge $5 per sandbag.
$5 per bag. Okay.
That makes sense.
Valid, valid. How about Zoel? What about y'all?
Mm,
She's
we
looking.
charge $5 per sandbag,
Okay, okay, $5
Good.
seems like pretty
and then
fair.
20 for water barrels.
20 for a water barrel.
Yeah, that seems cheap to me.
No,
Is that
I
normal?
charge $12.50 for a sandbag, and we charge $50 for water barrels. Do you know how much labor those things take to
Yep.
fill?
Oh,
Pain
yeah.
and the annoyance of all the emptying the water, and that sounds terrible.
And the trash that people shove through the little hole because they think it's fun.
No, no.
Ooh,
Fun
Uh,
times.
Those are,
get some pool shock and put it in your water barrels like before you put them away for the winter.
that's
That's
smart.
Smart.
that's good to know. Wow.
I
Well,
was
So I
otherwise
talking
could
they,
charge
to
$50 for a water barrel.
I do it all day long.
I've
And
never
people
charged
pay.
anything for them in the past. I should probably charge for them. They're a pain in the ass.
Yeah. And well,
Yeah.
we charge less if you'll let us stake through the blacktop, which is actually not easier than a water barrel, but in theory, it should be. But that's the only fee. Like water barrels and concrete block are both $50.
Yeah.
Do you write up something for pounding through the concrete then? Because then you're liable for filling in all those holes or no?
We fill them. We charge them for our asphalt plugs.
Oh.
If they don't want the asphalt plugs, that's on them.
Hmm.
Oh,
But
wow.
otherwise, we come back and when we pull the stake, we stick an asphalt plug in there. They're cheap, they're easy, it's done.
Okay.
I
But
was talking to a guy when I was trying to figure my prices out, a local guy, and he told me that when he did the sandbags, he would charge $50 a piece for them because he didn't want to do sandbags to begin with. He's like, if I don't stake it, I don't want to do it. So he said, I just charge so much that they don't
Yep.
want me to do them.
I do that all the time. There are things I hate, and I just charge a ton for it.
Valid. And if
Mhm.
people pay for it, you're like, I hate it a little less.
Yes, yes. No,
Does anybody charge for extension cords?
I did.
Yeah, what are you
we
guys
charge
charging
10
for
bucks for extra ones.
no, like if you're setting up a bounce house, you charge for the extension cord too.
Like to
Extra
rent them?
ones.
Yeah, to like
We-
set up the bounce house, you need an extension cord every time to set up a bounce house. So are you charging them for that extension cord or no?
Because what? The cord from your blower doesn't reach the house?
Exactly. Yeah, every time.
Wow.
I always need a 50-foot extension cord to reach the house.
I don't know. I'd kind of be leery of that because I could see people going, oh, no, it's fine, and try to use their own. And then you got a whole other mess.
Well, we
Yeah, I
charge
probably add that in.
we bring one and we charge 10 bucks for an extra one to but
So you
we
give it to
generally,
them for free then. You give them the extension cord for free.
but we always endeavor to plug straight into the house.
Your blower's
Well,
plugged right into the house.
It depends on how you call it free. I mean, you're baking it into your price anyways, right?
Not
Right.
really.
In theory, you're actually making money by charging people who don't need it for one because it's included.
Yeah, those cords aren't cheap. I'm kind of sick and tired of buying extension cords.
Oh, wow.
Or losing them. Make sure you
Yeah.
get the ones with your name on them. Not that it helps people never return shit.
Right.
And we charge in tenting. If you guys don't have multi plugs, they're the most amazing thing ever. We charge 25 bucks for a multi plug. So
Huh. Maybe I'll put extension cords on my site.
I would tell you it's a hassle to charge 10 bucks for an extension cord at every single bounce house if you just automatically do an extension cord. But the minute somebody tells me they're more than 50 feet, then I'm charging them 10 bucks for a 100-foot extension cord.
Mm,
Oh, okay.
That sounds right to me.
amen.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
could
but
do that.
but the reality is there's always cords on the truck. So I mean, it's a pretty easy solve. Like you shouldn't ever not have your backup, out there. So,
Mm.
but it's a real pain in the butt when they forget that $10 cord.
Oh, I can't imagine. Yeah, I had to move everything.
So while we're on the subject, a little sideways question about that. I've yet to figure this out. Um, I've got a unit that needs two 1.5 blowers, 1.5 horsepower blowers, and I've done the math, and a typical outlet is 15 amps. So if you plug those two in and you're running them, I mean, extension cord or not, if you're running those things, especially with extension cords, you've got amp draw over the length of the cord. But I've tripped every breaker that I've plugged those into, like at my parents' house and stuff. And how do y'all deal with something like that at a customer's house? Because most likely, you know, they're not going to have every outlet on a different breaker or something.
Yeah, typically if you connect into their bathroom, like if there's a window that goes to their bathroom or their kitchen or laundry room, those are all on like their own separate circuit. So you have 20 amps of power, and it's like dedicated. So it should be
Most of the time people's houses are like living room, kitchen, another room. So usually I'm snaking a cord into either like through the living room window or through the kitchen and an outside breaker.
So how
So
do y'all just take the screens off and put them back on later? I mean,
I would always make them take that stuff off.
I was like, I don't touch that. I just go
Yeah.
here, figure out how to plug it in the living room.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by me, I mean one of my employees.
Plausible deniability. You have somebody yell out later.
Right?
It wasn't me. It was them.
Sorry,
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with screens. I mean, like just opening a window is one thing, but you know, half the time they're just able to snake it right in the door there and like right around the edge of the door, and it's fine. I mean,
I'm in the
yeah.
South, so everybody has screens, and in my area, half of them have bars on their windows. So I mean, that's kind of a hard thing. And then if you run it through the door,
I
they're
lived in
bad
the
about
South for a
cutting the
while.
cords
Where
down.
in the South are you?
I'm right off the side of Little Rock in Arkansas.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
I'll be driving by. I'll be seeing you
No
in
bars are on windows in Buffalo. They're starting to remove them now.
You coming through this way, Adam?
Yeah, somewhere around the 15th of December. I should be driving through there. Yep.
Okay.
You have to stop by and like probably like so I was looking for hotels for the area. It said to stop one of the places they recommended was Little Rock. So I'll be right there. I should stop by and say hi.
Okay.
So
We'll
Adam,
have to meet up.
you do gigs
He's
all
the
over.
one with the bars on his windows.
Not me. I live in a storage unit, so that's a whole other thing. I manage storage facilities, and so does my wife. So we've got an
Nice.
apartment facilities. So yeah. So I have no neighbors. No
Nice.
neighbors. That's why, like, when I set this stuff up, I got to go to my parents' house to do it because otherwise, it's all just sitting on blacktop out in front of units, and people are like, "What are they doing?" So
No, that's your best advertising. What are you talking about?
I have to say,
it is.
put a little sign up, right, with your logo.
It is
Yeah.
until Grandma gets mad that she can't get in to get her stuff for her flea market.
What's a good restaurant there in Little Rock?
What you like to eat?
Everything. Yeah, I'm not. Besides seafood, everything.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know, Little Rock's right there next to the ocean, so they're really well known for their seafood.
Yeah, I was gonna say about the closest we have to seafood is a sushi restaurant, and they're okay. I can't really tell you there's a great restaurant around here. I mean,
Oh man.
there's some okay ones, but I wouldn't say there's anything great right now. Man, after the pandemic, everything that was decent just shut down.
Yeah.
It just kind of destroyed stuff around here.
We've lost a lot of good ones too.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I just got an email. I was sitting here. One of our best burger bars in town is switching over to a Krusty Krab. I don't even get that transition. Like,
Wait, Krusty Krab's a real place?
Yeah, seriously,
What?
so they're a Crusade Burger Bar. They make these like 1 pound burgers, and they have those shakes where they like pile the entire city on top of the shake.
Yeah.
Everybody loves this burger bar, and they're doing great. They're going to do a grand opening, and they're looking for a character visit because they're going to become a Krusty Krab. I'm kind of floored by that transition.
Wow. Well, hey, I'll tell you what, try brewed and barley or Lost 40. Both of those are still pretty good. Those are good places to try out.
Good deal.
Julio. Well, with that said, y'all, I'm ending the Facebook